different CAD and graphics file formats. This allows you to communicate part and assembly information with your customers, vendors, and colleagues, regardless of what CAD software they may be using. So let's jump in and see how SolidWorks handles the import of different CAD file formats. The files I'm going to be using for this demonstration have been downloaded from 3D Content Central. Here you can see that I've chosen the flange mount swivel caster, and it is available for download in various different file formats. So I want to open the native SolidWorks assembly so we can see how that opens and compare that to the other CAD file formats that we'll be importing. So here you can see all of the color information comes across, and we have a parts tree here. So let's go ahead and close that, and now we'll open up an ACES file. Now, one thing to note is that in order to import different file formats, we need to make sure that the file type list is set to either all files or the specific file format that we'll be working with. In this case, I want to import an ACES file, so I will check the ACES format here. Another thing to note here is that there's an options button that comes up when a specific file format is chosen. If we click on that, this opens up the import options dialog, from which we can set different options for importing individual files. There are general options and then some file specific options as well. We'll leave those all set to default. I'll go ahead and select my SAT file, and I'll click open. Now SolidWorks will go through and parse the file, look for geometry that it can import. It's going to try and create surfaces and solid bodies from that data inside the file. We'll let it finish doing that here. Okay, so depending on the quality of the original model, there may be some errors that come across in the geometry. SolidWorks automatically runs import diagnostics if it finds anything that is in question. So we'll go ahead and run import diagnostics on this part. We'll click yes. And SolidWorks will present us with any errors that it finds. So here we can see that there are 3 faces that it found problems with. Now this may be gaps in geometry or other issues. SolidWorks is great at fixing these problems for us, and I'll go ahead and click the Attempt to Heal All button, and that will go through and look for solutions to these issues. So we can see that SolidWorks was able to successfully fix those 3 problems that it did find, and we'll go ahead and select OK. SolidWorks also allows us to recognize features. I will not select this option this time because it does seem to take a while. So here we can see that we now have our solid model imported into SolidWorks. We can then work with it. We have 61 solid bodies that it created for us. Now if I was to save this part at this point, it would save as a SolidWorks part file, which I could then import into other assemblies or work with as I needed. So that's the ACES file format import. I'll go ahead and close this up, and we'll look at another file format. So go to File, Open, and this time I want to work or look at importing the step file. So I can again make sure that all files is selected here, or choose my step file format. I'll select the step file here and choose Open, and again it parses the file, looking for those surfaces and solid bodies to create. Now immediately we can see a big difference between this type of file format and the ACES file format. There's no color information that comes across with this file, and SolidWorks actually creates a part tree for us. So we do have SolidWorks native parts and SolidWorks native assemblies that are created from this from the step file. This can be a huge advantage when working with different vendors or customers. If you can exchange step file data, obviously that's a better outcome than other formats. So now if I wanted to save this, this would actually save as a native SolidWorks assembly file. I'm going to go ahead and put it in an 8020 parts folder here that I've got prepared, and I'll click Save. And it's going to tell me that it needs to save all of the individual documents, which I'm okay with doing. So now if we go to our File Explorer here, and let's open up that 8020 parts file. You can see that it has created all of the individual parts for us, as well as the assembly, and it even has the names of the individual parts. So again, very advantageous to work with step file formats. Now there are obviously 28 other file formats that we haven't explored in this video, but to see the different options and how those import, I would encourage you to go and explore those different file formats. You can either download them from a site like 3D Content Central or a different site. There are others out there such as GrabCAD that also house 3D data and information. But experiment and see which format works best for you and for your customers, and what you can get from vendors and whatnot. Again, my name is Ron Grover with Go Engineer, and this has been a short look at advanced CAD file importing with Solid.